Hello and welcome back to another video in the Complete Web Dev series. We are building out our content management system using object-oriented programming and PHP, and we are structuring this in a MVC style. What we're going to do in this video is we need to show the full article when someone clicks to read more, to expand and show the whole article. If we get to it, we'll do the menu items as well so that they can click on the authors and on the categories to have a link basically to get to them. And we already have done the functionality to filter those, but we need to add them to our menu, which will wrap up our menu. So let's go ahead now, and I'm going to switch over to my screen. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. You can support me on Patreon if you'd like to do that at patreon.com/freeskills, and you can pick up some sweet merch at freeskills.life. All right, here we go. So we're going to do a git checkout -b. And then we're going to do v36, and then we'll do a git push set upstream origin v36. Once we've done that, we are good to start, and we are going to need to open our blog controllers. Go to app controllers, blog controller. We won't need our CSS. We will go ahead and open up the users model. We're going to need that a little later. And let's open up the categories model as well, because I think I'm going to use that. And then go down to views and blog, and let's create a new file here in the views blog, and this is going to be called details.php. And then go ahead and create one more file here, and let's call it article not found.php. All right, so now we have two new views and we've got our categories open. Let's go ahead and go to our blog controller here, and we're going to create a new action here. So down here at the bottom, first and foremost, let's make the easiest action we're ever going to make. This is going to be our article not found. So do public function article not found action. And here we're just going to do this view render, and that's it. We're done with that. So now let's go ahead and you know what, since we've done that anyway, let's go ahead and do the view for article not found. And what we'll do here is do PHP, and what we're going to do is run this start. We're going to start the content, skip down a few lines, and we will do this end to clear the buffer and print it to the screen. And then everything within here is what we're going to put into the content of our layout. And so let's do a div with a class of row and align items center, like that. And then I'm also going to do, let's give this a style, an inline style, and we're just going to do a quick one. We'll just do min height, and let's do 100 view heights, like that. All right, and then inside of this div, let's go ahead and give it another div with a class of call medium 8 and offset medium 2. Okay, and inside that div, we're going to do another div, and we're going to give this a class of alert, and also alert info. And inside there, let's give it an h4 with a class of alert dash heading, and we're going to say oops dot dot dot. Underneath that, we'll do a paragraph tag, and we're going to say we are sorry that article does not exist. Okay. Underneath that, let's go ahead and give a div with a class of text center. And let's do an A with a class of button and button info. And for the href, let's echo out PHP root. Whoa, PHP root, what the heck? PHP root, sorry about that, I don't know why I couldn't type. And that'll be the href. And then for the text, we're gonna just say go home. And that's it, we'll save that. Let's go check that now. So if I go to blog/article not found, we have this right here, which looks a little off. Let's do on this min height right here, instead of 100 view heights, let's just do calc, and then we'll do 100 view heights minus, let's try 75 pixels. We'll refresh that. How big is this nav bar? The nav bar is 56. Let's see, it's 56. Why? And let's see, our div class here is plus 48. 56 plus 48 is I'm too dumb for that math. What is 56 plus 48? That's 104. $90. Man, I am really dumb. Yeah, I think that's right. You guys can laugh at me in the comments if I got that math wrong. Or I can just show you an easy way to do it. I can go to the console here and just do 56 plus 48, 104. Yeah, that's right. I don't know what just happened to my brain, but yeah. That gets rid of the scroll bar, and now this is kind of centered on the screen. There's other ways to do that, but that's the way we do it there. So we don't need this article not found view anymore. Go ahead and close that. And now we're back in the blog controller. So let's create another action here. We'll say public function. I'm gonna scroll up a little bit. And what we're gonna do is call this the details action. And the details action is going to accept an ID. And that ID is going to be the blog ID that we want to get. So let's go ahead now and set up our params. And our params is going to be an array. And this array is going to have our conditions. It's going to have our, we'll do our conditions. You know what, let's do our columns first. Our columns are going to be articles dot star. It'll get us all of our article columns. And then we'll do users dot fname, users dot lname, and then we'll do category category dot name as, we'll just say category, and then we'll do category dot ID as category ID. Okay, then we'll do a comma there since this is an array. And for our conditions, we're going to say, hey, the articles dot ID needs to equal the ID, and the articles dot status needs to equal, and we don't need to bind this because it's not going to be user input, so we just say public. Then what we're going to do is do our joins, and for now I'm going to just boilerplate that, leave it there. Then we need our bind, that will also be an array, and we're just going to bind our, this is an associative array, our ID, and that will just be ID. That is it. The next thing that we're going to do is figure out our joins here. So I'm going to hit enter, and this, we're going to need two joins. The first one is going to be our users table. So we're going to join users, and it's going to be users.id is equal to articles.user_id. And then let's see, that's it for that join. And then we'll do a left join for our category, just in case it's uncategorized. And so we'll say categories, and this will be categories.id is equal to articles.category_id. We'll give this an alias of category, and then we're going to tell it that this is a left join. Okay, that should be fine. The next thing that we're going to do is underneath this params here, we're just going to say article is equal to articles. So we'll call that model, and we're going to use our find first method, and then we're going to pass in our params to that find first method. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to, if it doesn't find an article, either because it's not the right ID or because it's not public, then what we're going to do is we're going to say if not article, then what we're going to do is we'll just do an inline if here. We're going to say router redirect, and in this router redirect, we're going to redirect them to blog/article not found. Now that's what we just created here, so that's where we'll send them. Okay. If there is an article, then we're just going to say this view article is equal to article, and this view render to render the view. Okay, so that should be it for here. Let's go to the details view now, and let's work that out. It's going to be pretty quick here. So we'll say this content, oops, not this content, this start content. We'll skip down a few lines and we'll say this end. Let's go ahead and flush that output buffer and echo it to the screen. And you guys remember these methods. This one starts the output buffer, but this is the one that actually does the magic and prints it to the screen. Okay, so then what we're going to want is a div with a class of poster, and inside there we're going to do a div with a class of row and MB4, so margin bottom 4. Dang it. Dot MB4. I'm stupid with Emmet. All right, there we go. Once we have that, we're going to do a div with a class of call and a class of flex grow 1. And inside there, let's go ahead and do a h1. And the h1, we're going to put in, we're going to do an echo, and we're going to do HTML entity decode, and we're going to decode this article title. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is let's do a paragraph underneath here, and in this paragraph we're going to put by, and then we're going to have a link here, and for the href we're going to do our PHP root, and then we're going to send them to blog category / and then this article category ID, just like that. And let's see, for inside of the A tag, we're going to do this article, and then we're going to access the category, and then we'll close that up. And the reason we'll have that category, if you look here in our join, or in our columns and in our join, we're doing category.name as category. Okay, so that will get that. So that'll give us a link that they can click on to take them to the other articles of that same category. Oops, I totally messed that up. Don't delete this yet. I screwed up here. I'm gonna do another paragraph, and we'll do category, and then a space, and then go up here and grab this A and cut that and paste it right after category. I screwed that up. Now this, we do want to do an A tag here, and this one by is going to be this article f name, and we'll concatenate on a blank space, and then we'll do this article L name. There we go. And for the href, we're going to do our PHP root, and we'll say blog /author / this article user _ID. There we go. All right, so then what we need to do is we need to have our outside of this flex grow one right here, let's do a div with a class of column and a class of text right. Inside there, we're going to do an image, and the source for the image is going to be, we're going to do a echo out PHP root, and then we're going to say this article image. We don't really need the alt thing here. We could just put the article title there. Let's do that actually. We'll put the article title there. So we'll do a PHP echo. We'll say this article title. All right, the next thing that we need here is let's do just some inline style here. We'll do an inline style, and we'll just say height 175 pixels, and width will be auto. Just getting lazy, that's why I'm doing inline style there. All right, after that, we're gonna go outside completely of this row. So right here, this row, find the closing div tag of that, and we're just gonna do another div here, and we're gonna echo HTML entity decode, and we're gonna pass in this article body. Close that, and that's it. That is our view. Hopefully I didn't make any mistakes, but this will be our view. So let's test this. Let's go back to our page, click on home, and then let's just click on read more on one of these. And we got a problem. Column does not exist, categories.id on clause. So go back here, conditions, categories.id. Oh, this will be, because this is an alias, this will be category.id. Refresh, and here we go. We have the title up here. We have the author link, which I can click on that. And then we have the category link. I can click on that, and it takes us to the category of board games. And then if I read more, it's got this down here. Now, one thing is this isn't very long, so let's see what this will look like with some longer content. If you go just search for cupcake ipsum. And this is a little lorem ipsum generator that thing's pretty neat. You can choose how many paragraphs you want, and then you can hit generate. And this will actually generate, I'm gonna copy that to clipboard, a bunch of paragraphs that are all like sweets. And so instead of like traditional lorem ipsum, this is like cotton candy, lollipop, candy, jelly beans, licorice. So this is all really funny to me. So we'll do that. So in order to do this, let's go to the author portal, and let's go ahead and click on edit for this is why PHP is awesome, and get rid of this because Curtis says so, and I'm going to paste this, and I'm going to give this some spacing here for the paragraphs. There we go. And then just for good measure, let's go ahead and do a heading 2 here, and let's just do why PHP and suites are awesome, ... give it some more space, and then let's go down and save this, and then let's go back to the home page, and this one right here. So here we go. I'm going to click on read more, and then you can see that I have a styled, let me close this. So because we have the WYSIWYG, this is actually an H2 tag, and then we have all of the rest of the article. So that's cool. Click home again, we're back to home, and we can click on any one of these. So that leaves us with, we can, now that we know we can see these, read the actual articles, and we can go here. Oh, that's one thing that's bad. The category, if the category is empty, we need to handle that. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And let's see how I want to do this. Let's do this in the, right here, actually underneath this, let's do another check. And let's do this. We're gonna say if empty article category ID, then what we're going to do is we're going to say article category ID is going to be equal to 0, and then we'll say article category is equal to uncategorized. Just like that. That's a quick and dirty way to do this. So now this says uncategorized, and we can actually go to the category 0 if we want to. Otherwise, we can just click on board games, or, you know, what's another one? This one here, this is computer science, but that's the only article in computer science. All right, cool. So let's see how much time we've spent on that. We'll decide if we can cut off there. It's only been 23 minutes. Maybe we can do the menu. It'll probably take us less than 20 minutes to do the menu, so let's go ahead and do that. I can close Cupcake Ipsum. I just thought that was something fun to show you. Makes mocking stuff up kind of quick. I do also think that Emmet has one, so let's just for fun, I'm gonna go here and type Ipsum and hit Ipsum times 5. No, never mind. There might be an image extension or something to do that in your editor, but at any rate, I'm gonna close this details view. I don't need that anymore. And let's open up, go to, let's see, close models, close blog. Underneath, go to partials and go to main menu, and this will open up our main menu for our navigation. And we have these drop downs right here. And so what we're gonna end up doing here is doing a little bit more PHP, and we need to add some models. So let's gonna say use models, and what we're gonna do here is we're gonna, I'm sorry, this is actually app models, this is a full namespace, and we're gonna add, we want categories and we want users in here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna say categories is equal to, and we're going to say categories find all with articles. We haven't created that yet, but we will. And then let's create another one called authors, and we're going to go users. We'll say find authors with articles. So the plan here is to get all categories that have articles, so it doesn't show up in the menu if there's no articles with that category. And then the users is the same thing. We don't want to show users in the menu that don't have any articles, because if we did that, what would happen is people would click on them and then they'd just be empty and it'd be frustrating. So let's just do it this way. And so let's start with the categories. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and just comment this one out, just so we can work on the categories one. And what we're going to do here is we are going to add a drop down. So we have a drop down right here, but instead of drop down link, let's change that to categories. All right, and this categories here, let's give this a new data toggle, because we are going to, well, hang on. We need to change the ID. So we'll say category drop down link, and then we'll copy that and paste it right here. And then what we're going to want to do is the first link here, we have this this item here that's an action. What we're going to do here is let's do a PHP echo. Actually, we don't even need it. Well, yeah, we do. Go ahead and do a PHP echo, and we're going to echo root, and then we'll say blog category /0, and then the first one we're going to put in here is uncategorized. All right. The other ones, what we're going to do is let's go ahead and well, delete the second one, and then above this, delete the third one, and then above the second one, we're going to do a PHP for each loop, and we're going to say for each categories as category, and then we'll do a colon, and then after this A right here, we're going to do end for each. And actually we already created we actually created a nav item here, or a form helper for this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do an h nav item, and the nav item we're going to pass in is going to go to blog /category / and then we're going to concatenate on category ID, and then we're just going to pass in the category name, and then the last option is true because this is a drop down item. So we can go ahead and get rid of this now, and it'll loop through all these. And we could actually even use the just to keep it consistent, we could use the PHP echo h nav item, and we'll use we'll go to blog category 0, and this will be uncategorized, and this will be true because it is a drop down item, and we can just go ahead and delete this one too, just to be a little more consistent. Now we need to get these categories, so we haven't created this function yet, so I'm going to copy that function name just because I'll make a stupid spelling error, and we're going to go to the categories model. In the categories model, before the closing curly brace, we're going to say public static function, and then I'll paste that there. There we go. And what we want to do here is we're going to be finding all of the categories. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, let's do params is equal to, and we'll say conditions. Actually, we don't even need any conditions for this. What we do need is joins. And for the join, we're going to have just a single join here, and we're going to join on articles, and this is going to be where articles dot category ID is equal to, and then we're going to say categories dot ID, and then we'll leave that as a normal join because we don't want them to show up if they don't have an article. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, group this. We want to group this by categories.id, and then we want to order by categories.name. Okay, and then what we're going to do is outside of this params, we're going to just return self find params. So let's see what happens with that. If I refresh now, we have these categories and then we have uncategorized. Now these aren't, this looks right. So we're getting the right ones back. However, we got something wrong with our layout here. So let's go back to the main menu. See if I can figure out what I did wrong there. We have a link with I think I screwed this way up. Maybe not. Hang on. Nav drop down toggle. Nav link drop down toggle. And yeah. So after this right here, hang on a second. What version of Bootstrap are we loading here? What did I screw up here? Let me see. Let's go to the layouts, default, and we are loading Bootstrap 4.6. Okay. So I got some problems here. Instead of making this a div right here, I'm going to change this to a UL. And the UL needs a class of drop-down menu, which it has. It has this. And then let's see, I got a problem somewhere here. What the heck? I guess let's look at this hnav item and make sure I have the structure in there correct. I may have a problem there. So let's go, and that is in core h, and let's look at the nav item thing here. Is drop down, so it should add drop down item. Let me turn my AC back on. It's getting hot. And actually, I'm probably going to pause the video for a second and try to solve it and then come back so I don't waste your guys' time me just looking around. Alright, so I guess nothing was wrong. I just, I'm so stupid, but I didn't save this after I had fixed this UL right here. So now I saved that and we refresh, and now we have categories. And if I click these, we are having an issue here. So let's see. Oops. Let's go back here. Category ID. Aha. I think the article ID is joining on the join table. So what we need to do here is go to categories and let's add our columns. And for the columns, all we want to return is the categories dot star. Save that, refresh, categories 0 2, there we go, computer science, so the active is working on that, board games, uncategorized, so the active even works, so that's cool. So now we just need to do the authors, and it's going to be very similar for the authors. For the authors, if we go back to the main menu here, up at the top, we had commented this out. So let's go down here now, and let's just underneath this li, let's go down and make another li with a class of nav item and a class of dropdown. Inside there, we're going to make an a with a class of nav link and a class of dropdown dash toggle. Alright, then underneath that a, we're going to do an ul with a class of dropdown menu. We might as well add the stuff here, so it's also going to need the aria labeled by, and this will be the author drop down link. Then what we're going to do is inside of here we're going to do a PHP for each. We're going to say authors as author colon, skip down a few lines, we'll do PHP end for each. And honestly, this is stupid to do it this way, since we're not doing any HTML. What we could do is skip down, close the PHP tags, and we could just say for each authors as author, and then we could get rid of these here. And then here what we're going to do is we're going to echo h nav item, and that will be the link that we're going to give this will be blog author /, and then we'll concatenate on author ID, and then we'll do author display name, and then for the final parameter will be true because it is a link. Now we need to create this find authors with articles. So we'll copy that and we'll go to users. And down here at the bottom of users, let's do a public static function. Paste that name here. Alright, then what we're going to do here is start building out our params. So our params here, now this is from the perspective of the users. So what we're going to do here is just say columns. And honestly, we could do users.star, but we only really need users.fname, users.lname, and users.id. Don't really need anything else. And then what we could do is we're going to say conditions. And for conditions, we're going to say we want authors, only authors that have articles that are public. I should have done that on the other one too. So we'll say articles dot status is equal to public. We don't need any binds, but we do need joins. And we are going to group this by the users.id so that only one will come up per user. And then we're going to order this by users.lname, comma, users.fname. We need the comma there. And then I'm just going to jump into here. And so for our joins, we're going to join on users.id. Oh no, I'm sorry. The users, dang it, articles. And we're going to join on articles dot user underscore ID is equal to users.id. Okay, that's that. So that should work. I am going to copy this conditions with public. Save that. I'm going to go back to categories and add in those conditions. Oops. Oh crap. Copy. Paste. Okay. Now go back to users. And what we're going to do here is we are going to return self-find params. If I go back and refresh, we still have these, and now we have no authors. And why is that? Articles.userid is equal to users.id. We're grouping by users.id, users.lname. You know, we could have some sort of I just want to see if there's any users in here. And there are. There's Curtis Parham and Tony Parham. So let's go back and see what we did wrong here. And I'm assuming... Oh yeah, I didn't finish this link here. So first of all, we need to say authors. And then we need to give this an ID equal to author drop down link. And then I also need to give this a role equal to button. And most importantly, a data toggle equal to drop down. And if we want, we could do the screen reader stuff. So Aria has pop-up true aria expanded false. Alright, let me save that, see if that's any better. So now we have authors, and there we are, Curtis Parham and Tony Parham. And I have a typo right here. Let's go back and try it again. Authors, there we go, Curtis, authors Tony. And then we have our categories. So awesome, now we can find our articles by the authors and by the categories, and our menu is dynamically built out to handle that. So that's pretty sweet. Let me check one last thing while we're at it here. I did want to check one thing here. Alright. One thing I'm going to add is in these drop downs right here. We have this class for the drop down. And what I'd like to do here is let's do a PHP echo h active class function, and we'll close that. And what we're going to do is type in blog category ID like that, and then I'm going to copy the rest of this, or cut it rather, and we're going to put that in here. And then I'm going to copy all of this, and we'll go down to our go down here to our authors one, and I'm going to paste that, and instead of category this will be author. We'll save that, and now what should happen is I broke it. I put that on the wrong freaking thing here. So let me back up. It should go right here on the link item here. You guys probably saw that. Let me save that, refresh, and now if we click this, why isn't that working? Inspect. Let's look at the active class method here. So go to H and active class, and let's see. Did I even implement this? Let me try one thing real quick. And what we're going to do is, if we're going to do page is equal to string replace oh, wait a minute, is current page. We're going to do if not empty page and string position ID1 is greater than -1, then the test string replace ID with page I think this has to be page here. Current page. Let me just do an H dump and die, and I want to see what string position of current page is. Might be hard to see here. Crud. I'm gonna pause this and try to solve this real quick, and then I'll jump back on. Alright, I figured it out. So, a couple things. One, this right here should be page equals string replace. I think we had that set to test. I messed that up. So that is page, and then it does a string position, and it looks for page in there, and if that is greater than -1, meaning it shows up in there, then that will return true, which will add the active class. Now what we had to do as well is in the main menu here, the active class, I also needed to change this page to blog author ID. I messed that up too, and then the other one was blog category ID. So just kind of look at this, make sure yours is exactly like this, and if we refresh, now what should happen is if we are in any of these categories, this should be the active link. Yeah, or for the authors, this one should be active, and it's active in here. So that's what that does. All right, so we are actually done with this project, except for I had a couple requests to put this on a live server, and another one to try to figure out security-wise how to clean up the config stuff. And so I think what we'll do is try to do the config stuff first, and then we'll do the live server second. So I will see you guys in those videos, but those will be optional. Okay, so if you don't want to do those, you can just end on this video and head over to the next chapter. Otherwise, I'm going to create a couple videos that just to help a few people out that have asked. All right, guys. Well, I hope that helps. Hope you've enjoyed this series. I hope you've enjoyed this chapter. I know this chapter is a little bit confusing. Just take your time, read through the code from start to finish, do it as an exercise, and I think you will understand it. Let me know in the comments how you're doing with it. Talk to you guys later. Peace out.